Good evening, and welcome to Dr. K Today. God has completed his first game as a starter for the Denver Broncos. Here's the story. In God's first game as a starter for Denver, the Broncos defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers in overtime 29-23 in the NFL's AFC wildcard playoffs at Mile High Stadium Saturday night. God played a key role coming off the bench in the fourth quarter in 6 straight victories to throw the once 1-4 Broncos into the playoff hunt, culminating in overtime when he forced a fumble for Chicago running back Marion Barber in a 13-10 victory over the Chicago Bears December 11th. Now, God was acquired in the 6th week of the season after the Broncos named former third-string quarterback and lifelong God fan Tim Tebow as the starting signal caller. But head coach John Fox did not start the Almighty immediately. "We had no idea God could still play," Broncos general manager John Elway said. "He was a teammate of mine briefly at Stanford 31 years ago. He helped me beat Oklahoma 31-14 in Norman. Then he disappeared from the team. Then we could not even make the Rose Bowl when half of our conference was on probation. The last I saw of him that season was after that Oklahoma game. He was on the sideline consoling the opposing quarterback, saying, 'It's okay. You're going to be the next black Republican elected to Congress.'" After the victory over Chicago, the Broncos waived God, and he was picked up by the San Francisco 49ers, where he threw a hit on Steeler quarterback Ben Roethlisberger that put him out of the game with a high ankle sprain. "He got away with messing with those ladies in Georgia with no charges being filed," God said, "so I sentenced Ben to a form of house arrest. He had to wear an ankle brace for the next 3 weeks." After defeating Pittsburgh 20-3, San Francisco waived God, and he was picked up by the San Diego Chargers, whom he led to a 38-26 victory over the Oakland Raiders that backed the 8-8 Broncos and God's number 1 quarterback Tebow into the playoffs. Now the Chargers, who did not make the playoffs, released God, and then he was picked back up by the Broncos after the Broncos had lost 3 straight games. "He's usually a financial burden to teams," Elway said, "but after the Chargers released him, God hired Tebow as his agent and fired his former agent, Oral Roberts. We were able to fit him under the salary cap after that." God was placed in the starting lineup for the playoff game and had an immediate impact. With the Broncos ahead 14-6 in the second quarter, a bad snap miraculously vacuumed into Tebow's hand, preserving a scoring drive that allowed Denver to take a 17-6 lead. Late in the half, with the Broncos ahead 20-6 and Pittsburgh threatening to score, a bad snap bounced 23 yards behind the line of scrimmage, forcing the Steelers out of field goal range. In the third quarters, with the Broncos clinging to a 20-13 lead on third down, God distracted the referee so he could not see that Tebow's pass was uncatchable when he flagged the Steelers for pass interference, preserving a drive that led to another Denver field goal and a 23-13 lead. God's biggest play was late in the game. With the game tied 23-23 with 20 seconds left in regulation, the Lord forced a Roethlisberger fumble that knocked Pittsburgh out of field goal range. This set up overtime, where Tebow threw an 80-yard game-winning touchdown pass on the second play. Thank you for watching Dr. K Today.